to the bold analysis. If William Ruto will maintain Kimani Ichun'gwa as the majority leader between now to 2027, and I can tell you without yet of doubt that the hostility that Kimani Ichun'gwa is planting in Parliament will constitute a million reasons for Kenyans to join, to change the regime. I said yesterday, I still stand with that the public should not be intimidated. It is possible. US have done it, Botswana did it the other day. But that is not what I want us to discuss today. In Parliament, something very shocking is happening. And I really wish that the State House team can interrogate and see the picture on what exactly is happening in the House. Employment and Diversity Audit Report was tabled in Parliament yesterday. Employment and Diversity Audit Report. This is the report that is touching on regional balance on state appointments. So the MPs that were shouting about tribalism just a few weeks ago, this was the time to debate about this report. Shockingly, all the 20 members of this committee boycotted Parliament. No one was available amongst the 20 members of this committee to second this report for debate in the National Assembly. And it had to take intervention of the independent member of Parliament, Marakwet West MP Timothy Kipchumba, to intervene, and he threw a jab at the Speaker's desk that when it was time to do some impeachment of the former Deputy President, the House was full to the brim. But when such an important bill is supposed to be discussed in the House, people, MPs, cannot be seen. And I want us to listen to Kipchumba's statement on that. Then from this, I'm going to tell you the behind-the-scene intrigues of go slow and boycott of Parliament as a plan to impeach Ndindi Nyoro amongst other parliamentary committee members is mooted by Kimani Ichun'gwa's office. All that from the retreat in Naivasha. But listen to Timothy Kipchumba.
I wish to associate myself with what Honorable Millie Odhiambo has said. The reason why I'm seconding this report, Madam Speaker, is because there is no member of the committee who is before the floor of this House to support the chair of the committee to prosecute or to second this report. Honorable Speaker, it is unfortunate.
The minority whip, did you hear Honorable Timothy Toroitich?
Honorable Speaker, I said I rose and I want to associate myself with the sentiments of Honorable Millie Odhiambo, who say that the chairpersons of this House must be here. Honorable Speaker, I was chosen to support or to second this report, and I'm not a member of this committee. I've just been pointed because there was no one from the committee to second the report. Honorable Speaker, the other time, when we were impeaching the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya, this House was full. Honorable Speaker, this report is a fundamental report that speaks to issues of regional balancing in employment, issues of ethnicity in this country, Honorable Speaker, that we must be able to deal with as a House with finality. Honorable Speaker, I have read the Constitution and I've read this report.
Honorable Adan, what Honorable Timothy is saying is very serious. Who are your committee members? And what has happened that none of them It's in the House.
Yeah, I think it's unfortunate that I have evidence of having circulated today to all the committee members that we have our important report which is being discussed today and they should be present.
Who are members of the committee?
My deputy is Lisa Chelule, and the members are 20 now. There were 21. One of them, of course, lost petition election, so there are 20 now. I can provide the list.
Are all 20 members, nobody in the committee to second such an important committee report?
It's very unfortunate indeed.
Touching on Article 232.
Yes.
It's unfortunate. Let us reflect on the meeting of leadership in Naivasha as we transact House business.
Honorable Speaker,
Timothy Toroitich, thank you for intervening. May you second.
Honorable Speaker,
This important motion.
as you go and reflect on committees in this House, Honorable Speaker, I have information that some of us who may have voted otherwise are likely to be expunged from some of the committees, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, I pray that even as you deliberate on those to be expunged from committees, you take into account those who have been attending sessions in this House and contributing to substantive matters touching on substantive issues in this House, Honorable Speaker. Honorable Speaker, be that as it may,
It is very sad, and it is indeed very sad that they're not in this. They were not in the House. But what happened? Because this happened yesterday, and I've been trying to. I picked the today's newspapers. They were not highlighting a bit of that story, and I think after the way Parliament conducted itself some few weeks ago, it was only right for the mainstream media to focus on the track record of that House, because their track record is not that they impeached the deputy president. Such critical bills, we'll really see their engagement in this bill, so that we see that they're really honest on their pursuit of their pursuit against ethnicity. Now, more than 50 chairmen, if you think it was just one, then you are wrong. More than 50 chairmen of committees and their vices, their deputies, were not in the House on Wednesday today. They boycotted the parliamentary session, and this has emerged as a trend across the parliamentary committees. So according to the standing orders, MPs raised some questions and seeking clarifications from different departments in the parliament. So the chairman and their deputies or members of those committees are supposed to respond to those queries. So if there are queries from other members of parliament touching specific committees, and those leadership of those committees are not in the House, then that has paralyzed the session, that parliamentary session. The committee leadership is boycotting parliamentary sessions, and the critical aspect is what is bringing this is what I want us to look at. It is not just a coincidence that all the 50 were missing. There is something happening in the assembly, and that is why I started by saying if Ichun'gwa is going to lead that impeachment move, then I can tell you we have actually misused the impeachment. This was Ichun'gwa looking around and confirming the absence of quite a number of those committee members. So what's happening?
I was just looking if I can find the member for Gatanga. He's not here. He has a question to ask. If you look around, look for the member for Embakasi West, Honorable Mark Mwenje. He's not here, and he has a question to ask. On and on, I have seen the Honorable member for Baringo Central, Honorable Kandie, is here. And we must commend the Honorable member for Baringo Central. Gonzirai, the member for Kinango, not here. Member for Funyula, as always, Honorable Speaker, the member for Funyula is always in the House. He has a question, he is here. Member for Bahati, the Honorable Irene Joki, not here. Member for Malava, the Honorable Malulu Ijendi, is at his usual seat. He is always there and is a vice chair of a committee. Honorable Speaker, we were in the House, and I could go on and on and on and on and on. Dick Maungu, not in the House. Honorable Speaker, Honorable Robert Basil, not in the House. Sarah Korere, as always, in the House, and she's here. Oh, Basil is here, the member for Yata, my apologies. Rael Kasiwai, she sits somewhere.
Just let the majority leader
somewhere around there.
finish his
I
point
don't see
of
her.
order.
She's not in the House. Honorable member for Kajiado South, Samuel Parashina, of course, as always, never in the House. The member for Matuga, who is also a vice chair of the CDF committee, Kasim Tandaza, always in the House and in the House now. Member for Igembe Central, I am on a point of order, Honorable Speaker. Daniel Carido, always in the House.
Members,
he's here, Honorable
the
Speaker.
majority leader is on a point of order. Sarah Korere, you will have an opportunity. So
The
will you.
member
Hold
for
on.
Mwingi West, Charles Ngusia CNN, always in the House, but he's not there now. Member for Kolomani Shinali, usually on and off in the House, is not here. But Honorable Speaker, what point am I making? We were in the leadership conference last week. Honorable Speaker, under the able leadership of the chair of the Parliamentary Service Commission and also our speaker, and part of the issues that were raised by members in that conference is House attendance. And more so, calling on chairs and their vice chairs. Honorable Speaker, this afternoon, you have had to sit there and wait for at least 10 minutes for us to garner quorum. This House has not less than 60 chairs and vice chairs of committees. We only need 50 to transact business. If we add the leadership of the House, we have 70. Honorable Speaker, I counted the chairs who are in the House at the time you asked for the quorum bell to be rung. Only 5 chairs of committees were seated in the House, and about 7 vice chairs. Where were the other 43, Honorable Chair? I want to say, Honorable Chair, Honorable Speaker, I wanted to ask that you remind these chairs and their vice chairs, Honorable Speaker. As we said in Naivasha, we have only another 4 weeks to go for a long recess. But these are the 4 weeks of reckoning. If you are a chair of a committee, you must be in the House at 2:30. If you are a vice chair, you must be in the House at 2:30. There is no reason for the speaker to come and sit and wait for quorum when there are members who have business to be transacted on the floor, they are not in the House. When we have chairs who should be responding, and this kind of behavior, Honorable Speaker, the member for Imenti Central should know. We are not in a marketplace in Imenti Central for him to walk in and shout that he's here. He knows he should also have been here at 2:30. Honorable Speaker, I was saying it's imperative that we reiterate from your seat, Honorable Speaker, the need for members to be in the House, especially chairs and their vice chairs, because even if all these members who have to ask questions were in the House, Honorable Speaker, and statements, you need those chairs and their vice chairs to respond and tell you when does the member expect an answer. And probably that is why the members who are even coming to ask questions are not here, because there will be nobody to respond to them.
I want to tell you what's happening. There's a ghost law by some quarters of parliamentarians. In Naivasha, some 2 weeks ago, a retreat was called. There was that annual retreat by parliamentary leadership. And that parliamentary leadership retreat in Naivasha was just after that Gadi impeachment, and the parliamentary leaders of minority, majority, whip, or the whips and the other committee leadership, critical committees were in Naivasha for that retreat. And there were reports of it from that meeting in Naivasha, the result that they are going to take the next 4 weeks before Parliament is supposed to go for Christmas recess in December. So before Parliament goes to recess, between the 4 weeks, they were giving chairman and vice chairman of committees, they're putting them on a 4 weeks probation. So that from there, if they shall have not proved their allegiance or rather their track record, then they will be removed or rather be impeached from those positions. And parliamentary reporters are saying that what happened in Naivasha did not go well with a clique of MPs who argued that contrary to what the Speaker and the Ichun'gwas are proposing on putting on formal probation, their track record cannot be pegged on this 4 weeks probation, because probably there could be no business to transact within those 4 weeks, and they should just look into the last 2 years. Now that brought understanding that while Ichun'gwa and the team are saying they want to change the leadership based on the effectiveness and how they deliver their mandate, the real triggers of that impeachment is how MPs voted on the deputy president's impeachment. Ndindi Nyoro is one of the members, is the chairman of the budget committee, and was present in Naivasha. If you look at the official photo that was taken, Ndindi Nyoro was not there. And the point is, he was not even given a chance to speak. Last time when such a retreat was there, his budget committee is one of the critical PBO office, Parliamentary Budget Office, is one of the critical offices, parliamentary office that advises government on matters budget. And when they're talking about economy, it is that office that advises government about the issues of budget. He was not given chance to speak, and in fact left the venue in haste, not even being part of the official retreat photo that was taken in Naivasha. And so MPs, the move of impeachments involving that of the chairman of different budget committees has rattled MPs who now see impeachment as a threat tool that has been developed by the state so that they can push MPs into some sort of submission. And I agree that impeachments are actually prone to abuse. So amongst those committee members that face the chopping board is Ndindi Nyoro. And I've taken that because he's amongst the MPs that kept off to get impeachment all through. In fact, he's never, all those MPs from Mount Kenya, quite a number, but he's never made even a post congratulating Kithure Kindiki. In real sense, he did not okay that move. And what rattles the State House team and the president is they feel that Ndindi Nyoro was a trusted ally. And if Ndindi Nyoro is not supporting Kindiki, he did not support that impeachment, probably he is siding with the former deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua. And those optics are not looking good for President Ruto. Remember, even in Murang'a, majority of MPs except the women rep did not support Rigathi Gachagua impeachment. All MPs and the senator, Nani kept off. Ndindi Nyoro kept off. He was not part of that process. Betty Maina, despite the fact that Rigathi was active in that negotiation, she supported Rigathi to be impeached. All the rest stood with the former deputy president, Rigathi Gachagua. So the move to impeach Ndindi Nyoro is something in the corridors. But I think, let's look a bit. I said when I started this podcast that if Ruto is not going to control Ichun'gwa, then probably is in for one of the few reasons why Kenyans will change regime is that conduct. There are two reports. One is NADCO. It was birthed after some meeting between President Ruto and the ODM leader Raila Odinga, some bipartisan process. Then it birthed some bipartisan report, and probably that report was to give a bipartisan approach on reconstitution of the IBC and quite a number of other things that were supposed to be done. This report is under the purview of the majority leader. It has never been concluded. I think it's under Justice and Legal Affairs Committee. And it's one of the reports that has to be fastened with the IBC bill, the constitution bill that is supposed to reconstitute the panel to pick the new IBC commissioners. Those two have stalled. But the majority leader and the team are now profiling MPs and the threats of impeachment, just looking at how things are being done. If Parliament is also going to be used to fix politics, then I think UDA government is collapsing. And it will collapse before 2027. 2027 might even be far. If this impeachment are going to continue, I'm telling you, 2027 will be far. Ruto will lose the election before even 2027. Ichun'gwa is plotting Nyoro impeachment alongside other chairmen put in the red list. What are you saying? Reshuffle of parliamentary leadership is clearly emerging as an executive agenda. It is emerging more as an executive agenda other than as a plan to make parliament be more effective. Some people are saying that if a reshuffle is to be done, then they will just take a go slow, and those sessions that are supposed to ratify those changes will not happen. They just abscond parliament. And it will be very delicate. Ichun'gwa, if not careful, will emerge as UDA destroyer. The president thinks that is the person that is helping UDA. It will emerge as a focal person destroying the UDA. And probably I'm also seeing something here. Ruto is misusing the BBG, that fake broad-based government deal, to muzzle parliament. Wetangula and Ichun'gwa, I'm afraid that while they could be behind such impeachments, they will face the same fate if parliament blows out. And to say the truth, even if you're a servant, even if you're loyal and want to pledge loyalty, there is a point you need to raise your head and say, this is not it. Ichun'gwa should not make a blunder, and even President Ruto should not make a blunder of impeaching Ndindi Nyoro from that budget committee days after impeaching the Deputy President Ichun'gwa. While you want to say and tell the country that Rigathi you're impeaching based on his Mureba politics, but that force out there will be so dangerous, and will not. It can consume even the Ichun'gwa, unless but the Ichun'gwa and Wetangula are working against President Ruto. But I don't want to take that, because for everything to happen in this country between now to 2027, every decision that is made either in the executive, in parliament, or in judiciary. William Ruto's think tanks must always forecast and say, what is the impact on this on 2027? How can we manage it? This is there. Ladies and gentlemen, that is my take. I believe that such a ghost law that in Parliament should really worry this. And again, peace, you were there when quite an executive agenda was there, but why are you not in Parliament when you really need to discuss Wanjiku? Thank you. It's Penina Nyambura. This was huyu ndio shosh alikuwa peke yake, and let me just tell you how we provided solutions there. Huyu shamba alikuwa naisha alipewa, yes, they were given those allotment letters, but apparently nyumba alijengewa ilishanguka. So the grandchildren ndio walikuwa nyumba zao zilikuwa ziko hapo, so she was just using a makeshift structure. Now what would happen is when the grandchildren come, alisema she feels unsafe or she feels like anawafinyilia. Now she has to leave and go back to that kitchen, which is now the house yenye alikuwa amejengewa. So this house was built for Nyambura. She will use it alone, peke yake, and she was very happy. And may God bless you. Now, that is Penina Nyambura. This other one is Alice Kamande. But then apparently Alice akona watoto 6, she told us. Kona watoto 6. Some, there is only one, yule mwenye mwana pale, tulikuwa na yeye. I think I showed her in the video. But the others awako there, and what she could not directly say, but we also gathered kwamba alcohol and illicit brew, it's a big problem. So she's also gotten that place. Malikuwa nalala ni kwa nyumba kingine kadogo ya mbao, and it was also destroyed. So she's got another one, and then the last one is Mzee Njuguna Munyu, yeah, Njuguna Munyu. This one here, yeye pia anaishi peke yake actually in that home. Yes, anaishi peke yake, and he was telling me yeye ndiye alikuwa ananiambia hana choo. Yeah, so I tried telling some people there, nimeona huko wameweka stima. At least the local community sasa wale ambao the MCA there are trying to get contact, awajenge mzee show, ajenge mzee choo. Yeah, na pia ikewe maji so that mzee apate usaidizi. But if one of you will be willing, I can be able to directly link you so that mnaweza jengea mzee choo. Yeah, hiyo ndio shida pekee sasa yanabaki nayo. But of the house, he's gotten a house. And thank you, we've made an impact. That for sure, guys, I can tell you, we've really made good impact. If you want to partner with Granny Care in future, then Manda is there. And I want to tell you, Granny Care is the symbolic, the flagship project of the Bold Network. God willing, we are going to register it to a full foundation. We are in that process. But Granny Care is our project now. So this is a project that will move across different counties. We've done Kilifi, we've been to Kisumu, now we're in Nyandarua. We will go somewhere else. But if you want to partner with us and know more about, contact us and you can continue supporting. Hata kama unataka kujenga ingine ya Kilifi uliona, you can still reach out, you can still link and build another one if you want to support someone else. And now that is the program.